rough night. Had a lot of sleep. I'm dealing with the dogs right now. Baby's out. So I'm having some caffeine. Let's see if I can get up a little bit so that I can work with lots of... Hey, get out of there, baby. Thank you. It's important if you're going to work with... with your dog, that you're sort of up. Like, don't do it tired. So I'm working with someone else's dog. I try not to be tired. So I'm trying to wake up here. I woke up, the TV was on, and Nancy Pelosi went to Ukraine with Adam Schiff and some other congressmen. And in one of the last shots, they have some of the biggest Ukrainian bodyguards. Like, it's like a shot of Zelensky and the congressman, and then on this side and this side they have two Ukrainian bodyguards that are like two of the biggest humans I've ever seen, literally. Now, Nancy Pelosi's not real big, and neither is Zelensky, but man, I'm telling you, these guys are huge. They are probably in the top 20 largest humans on the planet, like that big. The one looks familiar. I think he's a Ukrainian wrestler, heavyweight wrestler. The other one might be too. I mean, they are gigantic human beings. I thought it was interesting that Pelosi went. Out here trying to wake up and sit in the sun. I got stuff to do today. I gotta go to Home Depot and get some screws. Finish the window. I put this window in, and I didn't have enough screws to do it, or foam, but it's in, so it can't fall out. That's all I needed. I needed to get it sort of set in the wall. There was already an existing hole, sort of, because there was a door there at one time. So, other than doing the rip out, it was fairly easy. I will answer dog training questions if you have any. Figure I'd live stream if I'm sitting here. I knew it was going to be nice out today. It's May. This is when it starts being real nice here. Oh, look at that. I got buds on the plum tree. My cherry trees have not blossomed yet, which is good. There's a little frost on the ground this morning. I was up and I went back to sleep. That's on my agenda for today. I'd like to take Baby and Gus and work the dummy launcher with them in front of Lutzy. But I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to rush this with Lutzy. Things are going real good. They're going real good. That dog, when he first got here, if he heard birds chirping, he would just be fixated on them. So it's a huge change. It really is. Owners mean well. They do, because they love the dog. They get the dog because they want a dog. But I think owners don't understand dogs, and they're too lenient with things. They think, well, the dog's doing it, like it's no big deal, and then it just causes a problem. Like Lutzy's a bird dog, so he's going to be attracted to birds. So I think the owner was like, you know, I don't know the situation there. I don't know if they live and have a backyard or what, but he said that chasing birds was a problem, and I can see how that would have been a nice guy, you know. I'm sure he obviously meant well. He's like, he said something like, "I'm not doing right by Lutzy," something like that, and I know I need to do better, so I need your help. So it gets to the point where the dog gets so high drive, people don't know how to get it to stop. You know, I would say that most people shouldn't have dogs. This wouldn't be the case of this owner, because when he saw that it wasn't going well, he liked the dog. The dog's beautiful. He made the correct decision. He's just like, fuck it. I gotta spend some money on the dog. It's an investment. With me, it's a flat rate too. So it's like the dog needs to be compliant to go back. So I guarantee you, 90 days. You know, it's always going to be 90 days. So, you know, if it's another 2-3 weeks to get the dog to catch a frisbee and do that proper, that's on me. You know, I'm not the dog trainer. It's like, oh, you 2 weeks is up. You got to go back. That's not me. I want to get it as good as I can. Merlin seems to be doing well. I hear from his owner a lot. Merlin's an interesting dog because he's just so poodle-like. And Merlin has great days with Merlin, and then some days, like, Merlin's pissy. That's Merlin. My suggestion was just work him more. He got him to the point where, like, he can leave the house for, I think he said 6 hours, 6.5 hours, watching him on the Blink camera. So that's pretty damn good. So that's a good sign. You got a separation anxiety that you can't leave the house, and you can get the dog to leave for 6 hours. That's great. But I mean, it wasn't, I mean, I probably did, I did longer. I told him, like, but on general, I would only leave for 2.5-3 hours. But I had him so I could leave him a long time. But generally 2.5-3 hours, I was always, like, consistently safe without him, like, causing a shit fit, getting stressed out. So once you get him like that, if you can get 2 hours out of him, you can get whatever you need. You know, dogs will do longer. 8 hours is what American Veterinary Association recommends. No dogs. The average dog, meaning puppy to adult, puppy to senior, no longer than 8 hours. But everybody knows that a dog can do much longer than 8 hours. That's crate trained. Do much longer. Just sleep. That's what you want. You want a dog that just sleeps. I got my tractor going, which is good, so I can mow my yard. It looks so much better already. I don't have it done, but the window I put in there for Remy, it's like the stairs going up. It's awesome. There's light coming in it right now. For Remy and Solar, they both hang out in that area. I don't know what I'd do without Remy. Remy got stuck in flypaper the other day. I was fucking flipped out. So was she. I got her out of the flypaper real quick and used some oil. And, you know, that's what you use to break down glue traps or fly traps, oil. Vegetable oil works. That's the easiest. Baby oil. But then you had to take Dawn, our dishwashing stuff, to get it off the bird. You know, you can't have that on the bird, oil. And then so I'm doing that, and I'm putting her under the faucet. She was totally flipped out. She was, like, just so stressed out. I thought I was gonna lose her. I was so scared. I was so worried. She's fine. I do the same thing I do with even, like, an injured bird. I keep them warm. And the best way to do that is by body temperature. So I'd either, like, I'd have her under a blanket like this, you know. At works. I kept a very small bird alive one time that was extremely injured by just holding it in my hand for 24 hours. You know, it's the pulse, I think, has an effect being next to another animal. And that small bird, I think that was just pure will. I willed that bird alive. It was fucked up. Its wing was missing. He said the best way to make a dog listen is to tire them out. I never said that. Get out of here, idiot. I never said that. You know I didn't say that. Hi, my Jack. Hi, any advice? My 7-month-old Jack Russell. What do you mean advice? Yeah, I like spaniels. I like all hunting dogs. I've trained a lot of cockers. I've trained more cockers than springers. You know, cocker spaniels like a smaller springer. They're awesome. Any advice for your Jack Russell? I don't know. It's 7 months old. You better have it trained. Extensive training. Seriously, you need to train that dog and keep it on a leash and don't let it start chasing squirrels. They're hardwired to kill, so you don't want them to do that. You don't want them to do that. So every time it sees a squirrel, it's going to take off. Don't let it start doing that. But obedience training is the way to go, but most people can't do it, so it's a problem. Boy, it is nice out. Hi, Robin. How you doing? I got a robin's nest over there. I saw Lutsy knows where the robin's nest is over there. It's on the other side of the fence. And so he went over there and he's looking at it. He's like pointing at it, of course. And I just called him off of it. And he's totally different, like in the last few days. Like it was the correct amount of pressure with him that got him to stop. And that's true with all dogs. Like you can try a verbal pressure. You know, you can try a real light pressure wave, but a lot of times that wasn't gonna work with Lutsy. Be like, he'd just be like, whatever. He's yelling in my ear. It doesn't matter. You know, I used a combination of the healing stick and the microeducator together. It's when the healing stick is a bouncy stick. You can bounce it off your head. You're not trying to hurt the dog, and you're not using it so that the dog sees you coming. You hold it up like an umbrella, and it comes down on the front, and it comes right back up. So when it touches the dog, it's an annoyance. Most of dog training, what you're trying to do is annoy the dog. You shouldn't think of it as pain. Don't be trying to hurt the dog. Don't hit the dog with anything. Like the whole, what do they call it? The bad dog trainers, the people that call themselves a dog trainer, the bonking thing, and they roll up a towel. Don't do that with the dog. Don't. That's just dog trainers trying to sell something to people to make them, oh yeah, really, I can hit my dog? You know, like that. Like Jeff Gelman or whatever his name is, and that other dick. Terrible. A lot of those IACP dog trainers, they're dog whisper background people. They recommend doing that crap. It's just bullshit. You make the dog hand shy, I'll tell you that. How did I first start dog training? With my father. I was a kid, about kindergarten or something, maybe a little younger. He would use me as a distraction. He would have a lab sit, and he'd say, "Okay, Peter, I want you to go stand over there and just throw, do this with the dummy, like spin it around." And I'd say, "Okay, jump up and down and make some noise. Now run by the dog, but run by the dog like 3 feet away." right? Stuff like that. That was it. And then it'd just be um, yeah, he was like say sit, but say it from your diaphragm, like that. Like no, sit, you know, no, bark it out. You bark it out. Use your diaphragm. He was a very flawed man. He was, but he's racist, is what he was. But he had his good points, that's for sure. But he said just terrible shit that would make me cringe as a kid and as an adult. Same thing with my brothers. What's up, Shirley? He was a flawed guy, but we all are flawed in some way, I guess. So he was an alcoholic, but he quit drinking at a point. He was like me, just went sober and just never drank again. But he's flawed for sure. You're alive? That's how I feel. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I gotta go to Home Depot and get some screws and finish this window that I'm doing. Doesn't matter now. It's not gonna be cold anymore. I got all the time in the world, really. It's in. I just would like to sort of finish it out. So Remy has a nice platform to sit on. It's nice. It brings in. Me got up at 4:30. Me too. Went to sleep late. Got up at like 4:30. A rough day yesterday. It is nice out though. See, my pawpaw trees are blooming. I'll hand pollinate them just to make sure I get a lot. I'm gonna sell them. I'm gonna sell them this year. Send a few to some people and sell the rest. Eat some. Maybe I'll process some again. It's sort of difficult processing. It was just me doing it. It's time consuming. If you had a assembly line, like one person would cut them, one person would scoop them, and then one person would put it in the mill, that's the way to do it for sure. That's, I think, the only way to do it. Like hey, come here. But it was trial and error figuring out how to use a food mill. And come here. Fucking coon. This dog. Fucking baby. You're a good-looking dog, dude. Hey, you blue pit bull. How you doing? You good? Give me a kiss. But I don't know what kind of price I'm gonna get, but they sell retail for, I used to say they're at least 10 to 12 pounds. I have an Australian Shepherd Standard Poodle mix, barks very aggressively at people, yet he is scared of everything. Can I fix? Your dog needs serious training. It's fixable, definitely. It's fixable, but I mean, since you're asking the question, I'd have to say no. It's probably a great dog. It's just sort of confused. I mean, its status is confused. That would be one thing. It's totally fixable, but you would have to find a competent dog trainer, and that's sort of difficult to find. You're going to find a lot of people that use food, and food training is not beneficial for your dog. It's not. You don't want to do that because don't give your dog people food either. That's terrible for your dog. At times, your dog has a real excited mind. So, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it gets excited, and excitement's the point. All dogs bark, lunge, bite, or, don't listen. So if you've used food and that, you've encouraged that excitement of the mind. Your dog has issues that has to be evicted, and that takes skill, and it takes knowledge. So to think that yes, the mower tires did hold and it's running. I got the belt on it and it's running. Thank you. But man, just being realistic with you, um, you can't use a purely positive food trainer to get your dog better. That's not going to work. You need to find somebody that's a balanced trainer, preferably somebody like me that doesn't use food. Good luck. Um, you know, um, but is it fixable? Yeah, it's totally fixable. But it involves your dog learning sit down, whoa, here, heel, kennel. All the obedience commands. It has to know these implicitly, and it's a common thing. Like the dog Merlin that was here would be like, he'd bark at people and shit, and then um, the owner said that he had him in the backyard. They were working back there, and Merlin was watching him, not the workman. He said it went real well. So, and Merlin's a real uh, tough nut to crack. So, from what it sounds like, Merlin's owner's actually doing good. I give him a ration of shit, but he's having some difficulty. But it sounds like he's sort of getting it. Um, like it's tough, but your shepherd, like that should be an easy fix. You just have to find the right dog trainer that'll do it. Um, those poodles, all those poodles are alike. They are so similar to those standard poodles. Yeah, Merlin seems to be doing fine. He had some great days. He had some really great days. Like the one day he got to 6.5 hours watching the dog on the Blink camera and stuff. But then he said he's at home the other day, and he said he just keeps like you know changing positions. So it's fine. He's got it. He's got it. He just needs to stay on target with it. I'm drinking this, which is actually pretty good. The taste is real good. I bought some of these when I went out, and I bought these for me. I bought other stuff for Destiny. I bought this. She doesn't really drink. Well, she'll drink this, but tell you what, the pollen is like, I can feel it. I'm gonna have to use some stuff. It's all right, cause it's sunny, I'm real tired though. I think I will go to Home Depot today, see if they got screws, cause they might have a couple tomato plants. I don't think it's getting below 32. I saw one day next week at night and said 35. But that's a week away, and if that was gonna happen, I'd put something over them. But during the day, it's up like this. It's gonna be 60s and stuff. Just you can't ask for anything better than this. This is great. That freshly mowed grass. I love the backyard in the summer. It's great. I love it. I love it when I have a lawnmower though. When I don't have a lawnmower, like last year it broke, and I didn't have time to fix it. I was throwing everything into that art show. My 1-year-old Shar-Pei suddenly froze whenever I put the leash on her. She refused to walk and just kept standing. What can I do to correct her so she can walk on a leash? You have serious problems because you're indicating that the dog doesn't have proper training. It's a Shar-Pei, and I've trained a lot of them. They're a difficult dog for people because they try this kind of stuff. They try and control the situation. The dog's looking to see if you're competent, and you're telling the dog, no, you're not competent. So, sorry, but that's what your dog is thinking. So it just doesn't want to walk, and then what do? You just stand there like a deer caught in the headlights? No, you keep walking. So it's a difficult kind of dog because they're bratty too. I've had Shar-Peis, they do the Shar-Pei scream. There's a couple different dogs that'll do this shit. Cattle dogs will do this. If they don't want to do something, they start screaming, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not even touching you, you know? And they're just, you just got her yesterday. Oh, well, you better get on that, man. You better start walking the dog. If you just, the dog stops, and you stop, and you don't know how to move the dog, you're conditioning the dog to do that. So you know what you do? You take the leash, you give it a little tug, and keep walking, going forward. And don't turn around and go like this. Don't be looking at the dog like that. You keep walking. And if the dog, like, give it a jerk, like every little bit, like just, give it a correction, and keep walking that way. It's a 1-year-old dog, okay? You also, when you're in the house, you could have the dog drag the leash around and get used to the leash that way. But there's no reason that, I wonder, I mean, I'm not going off on you, dude. Listen, they're a cool looking dog. They look like a fox and everything. People want them because of the way that they look, but they're sort of a sort of difficult dog because they're not pushovers. Most of the time they're not food motivated. Don't train with food anyway. Any Shar-Pei that's been here, I never trained with food. They're all sort of the same. And you got this dog. It's 1-year-old. I take it you adopted it. And when you were adopting it, you should have thought, like, man, I'm going to have to get this dog trained. It's an investment to get the dog trained. And people just seem to think that, like, they can get a dog and everything's going to go good. And that's not really what happens. It ends up being very difficult for people. I mean, just even, like, the most basic thing, like the dog stopped and I didn't know how to get it going. Where with me, it's, fuck it, we're walking. So dogs will try that with me, but they don't try it real long because my attitude, fuck it, we're going. We're walking over here. And don't do this and be looking at the dog. You turn this way, you go with the dog and just sort of like, no, here, heel. You got to train the dog to heel too. Sit and do all that stuff. It's difficult for people because there's been this thing of like, oh, use food. They sold this to the American public. Well, training with food wasn't good for the mammals at SeaWorld, and it's not good for the American canine. So, you train the dog. You don't need to use food. You use praise. Good boy. Toys, throw it or retrieve. It's just like, it's short-sightedness. But that's your basic rule of thumb. I have videos on that subject, but usually it's a puppy that's trying that. But Shibas will definitely do that. They'll definitely do that. They're cool, but, it's a Shiba, pain in the ass. They're all the same. Hang on.